and welcome back to my channel. I'm Deziel and today I'm going to make with you the pattern of a tailor collar. There's already one video showing you how to do the tailor collar, but today we're doing it with a collar that is going to be away from the neck. So that's the first thing we'll do. We'll enlarge the neck and then we'll develop the tailor collar with the same 9 steps. I did a little quick sketch to show you what I'm talking about when I say away from the neck. As you could see, it's much wider over here, so it doesn't touch the side of your neck. And in the same time, it's going to give me a style to respect for my demonstration. As usual, the first thing to do is to trace both blocks. So I did trace my back and I trace my front. And for this one, I decide to pivot my shoulder dart at the waist. It's not going to be in my way when I trace my style lapel. The recipe that I show you today for the tailor collar is 9 steps. Plus, you'll see at the end, I'm showing you how to do the verification for the back fall. But before starting those 9 steps, I'm going to change my neck. Today, I decide I'm going to enlarge my neck by 3.5 centimeter or 1 inch and 3/8. So I'm going to measure it from the original point in the back and on the front. Now I'm going to trace my new neckline in the front, even if I'm not really going to need it. I just need this reference that I already have, but still I'm asking you to trace a neckline. Now you see in the front it's almost parallel most of the time, but in the back it's usually much smaller measurement at the center back. Here I would say more or less a centimeter or 3/8 of an inch, something like that. The idea is to trace a big part of the line that is going to stay square with the center back, and then do a line that is pretty much the same shape touching the new reference. Once it's done, I strongly suggest that you erase completely the original neckline. Right away, you could measure your new back neckline and write down the measurement on the plan. First step is going to be to add an overlap to your garment. This is the extension that you have from the center front, so you'll be able to do buttonhole and to sew your button. The width of your overlap is usually the diameter of the button, sometimes a little more. And today, for my example, I'm going to do an overlap of 2.5, so my button would be 2.5 diameter. We're going to trace that line parallel to the center front towards the outside. Now we're ready for step 2. That is going to be the breaking point, this one here. It's where the lapel is starting to roll. And to find that point, the best way is to place your button, because the button is holding the lapel. That's what stops the lapel. So it's also going to determine the breaking point. If I look at my sketch, my first button is at the waist and there's another one a little bit higher. So I have my 2 buttons. Now I'm going to find the center of that top button, and this level I'm going to report on my overlap line. This is going to determine the breaking point. I have my breaking point right there. That is my number 2. Number 1, number 2, number 3 will be the width of the collar. How much I want my collar to go up. I call it the stand collar. When it's very close to the neck, I usually say don't go over 4 centimeter. Today, even if it's away from the neck, I'm still going to use that 4 centimeter measurement. The way we're going to place that stand collar, 4 centimeter or 1.5 inches, place it in prolongation of the shoulder line towards the center, just like that, and we do a dot. Number 4 is going to be the fold line. So this line here where the lapel fold. We're going to trace it from the point number 2, the breaking point on the overlap line. Touching the point number 3, you're going to trace and elongate that line until the end of the paper. That fold line is number 4. The next thing we'll do is place our back neck measurement. So until number 3 here, this is the front. What we trace on the other side of the shoulder will belong to the back. So here I'm going to place my back neck measurement, and you will see we'll use the same measurement 3 times. I take my back neck measurement and I place it from point number 3, just like that, and I mark. Now you're going to hold your measurement at the point number 3 and pivot your back neck measurement of 2.5 centimeter or 1 inch, and you could say that this is a standard. Now you're going to trace your line, that is your back neckline again. So we put the measurement 1 time, 2 times. I said we're going to place it 3 times. So the last one is going to be to place the back neck measurement parallel to that angle that we just got, touching the front neck and shoulder point and keeping the back neck measurement. So it is possible that it's not 4 cm anymore, but that's not what's important. Just remember back neck measurement parallel to the angle that we just find, touching the front neckline. So we do have 1 is overlap, 2 breaking point, 3 width of the collar or stand collar, 4 is the fold line, and we have back neck measurement, that is number 5, that we place 3 times, but the one we really need is the last one here. The next point, number 6, is going to be to trace the center back. So we have the neckline. Now we're going to do the center back. From number 5, the last one we did, 90-degree trace square without measurement, just like that. Number 7 will be to trace the style of the lapel. Don't forget that the first part of the shoulder, you lose it because of the 3D of the body. So maybe 1 inch to 2.5 centimeter, you lose it. So make your style a little bit lower than that. And just look at the proportion you have, like the notch here is pretty much halfway or the middle of the armhole, something like that, the width. And you have to do your style from the shoulder all the way to the breaking point. Once your style is done, this is number 7. You're going to fold on number 4, that was your fold line, and trace with the tracing wheel to have the lapel style line on the other side. When you do trace, don't forget to indicate the shoulder level. This is our number 7 that we just flip and have it on the other side, but it's still my number 7. Now what we have left to do, 2 lines. First, the fall in the back. So this part here that it's still open from the center back to the front shoulders. The way to close it, sometime you just have to put your ruler 90-degree on center back and touch that shoulder and lapel point. But now, because of my style, you see it's too pointy. If you keep it 90-degree and you go down, doesn't work. There's no way I can reach that point. So that means you have to go a little higher than the shoulder point. Most of the line is going to be 90-degree. And then that last little part, I'm just going to make a smooth curve to connect with my front shoulder point. I would say more or less a centimeter here, or 3/8 of an inch, but that's because of my style. There is my number 8. Now the last line, number 9, is going to allow you to separate the collar from the bodice. You remember the neckline, I said we're not going to use it, and we're not going to use it. We just need to respect the neck and shoulder point. And to be able to separate, we're going to use the style line. Sometimes you could just continue that style line here, continue until that point. If it's not a nice and continuous line, you may have to change it, but you try to do it the least possible because the style is the style. But in that case, maybe a little bit down so I can go and reach my neck point. That line, the final line I just did, is my number 9, so I could separate my collar from the bodice. Now the recipe is done. The last part, like I said, is to do a verification to see if the back part of the fall of the collar, this is my neck, this is the fall, to see if that part is big enough. Here's my back. The collar is going to be sewn at the neck, and like we decide, it's going to go up 4 centimeters, right? And the rest of the width that we have is going to fall back on the shoulder, and same thing on the center back. So the fall of the collar is going to be over here somewhere. We have to determine with more precision how long should be to fall at the right place, and that's what I call the verification. This measurement should be what we have here for the fall. If it's not big enough, we'll have to slash and open, develop a bit the back part of the collar. To do the verification, I'm going to need 3 measurements from my front plan. First, I call it A. I'm going to need the width of the collar at the center back. I put a letter A. Second measure is going to be the width of the collar at the shoulder. So you see my shoulder line, shoulder reference. I'm going to measure from the front neck point to the shoulder reference there. And this line, it's going to be my measurement B, width of the collar at the shoulder. Finally, I'm going to need C. The third measurement I need is the fall in the back. This, I call it C. Now I have my 3 measure. I'm going to place on my back. A was at the center back, so it will be over here. B is at the shoulder. It's going to be at the shoulder. Now, maybe you remember how much we put for the stand collar, how much we want the collar to go up here. In that case, I decided it was 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches. So I'm going to place this measurement twice over the neckline. My neckline, it's going to go up with the stand collar measurement, but it's also going to come back down. So twice the stand collar measurement. And the rest of my measure that I found here, A, the rest of the measurement goes below. So with my ruler, I put twice the measurement over the neckline, and I could place right away my 14.6 that I found right there. At the shoulder, we'll do exactly the same thing. I'm sure you're going to say, oh, it doesn't fall the same way. And you're right. You see the way I draw it? That's pretty much how it's going to fall. But to do the verification, we do it the same way. We calculate twice the stand over the neck. Here we even have, we'll go inside over here. So twice the stand collar measurement, and you have your full measurement. So here again, I'm going to place my 8 or your 3 inches, and you place your full measurement that you found right there on the shoulder. Now that we have both reference, we're just going to measure the diagonal line between those 2 points. And that measure that we just found, if everything was perfect, should be what we found for the letter C on the front plan. Now you could see that the measurement that I need for the back, 18.4, and I found 16 centimeters. So my collar is missing 2.4 centimeters. In inches, it would be more or less 1 inch. To make it match with the measurement that I need, I'm going to slash and open, develop the fall of the collar. What I'm going to do is put another paper under, retrace only the collar part so I could keep my plan the way it is. Now you saw me tracing all around using the new neckline there all around, and it's going to be important also to indicate where you start sewing the collar with the bodice. So right here, the shoulder and the shoulder, but on the fall, because this part belongs to the back, and that's what we want to develop. Now I'm going to trace my shoulder line. Now I found that I have 2.4 centimeter missing. Usually I don't do my opening more than 1 centimeter. So in that case I need 3 opening. So I will do 3 opening of 8 millimeter. The first opening could be right at the shoulder, and I would need 2 other one. You could decide the opening where you want them by highs. It's no problem. Try to do it as even as you can. Now in inches, I need about 1 inch. I usually don't do my opening more than 3/8 of an inch. So in that case, I would do my 3 opening of in between 1/4 inch and 3/8. Now there's a reason why those lines you could do by highs. It's because they're not style line. We're not going to see them at all. It's only to be able to open the pattern. Now we're going to open the line from the outside or the fall of the collar, direction of the neckline. And I usually trace my little scissors to make sure I don't make any mistake. To make sure you don't mix up your piece and you lose them, you want them to stay attached just for a little while. It's important you stop your cut 2 or 3 millimeter, maybe 1/16, 1/8 of an inch before the end of the line. If I do open, it makes pleat in the paper, and to avoid that, I'm going to do little diagonal cut towards the point where I stop cutting, just like that, to keep my paper flat. The front piece on the plan, we have nothing to do, just glue it in position. We're ready to place the first back piece. Place your 1/3 of the measurement for this example. I put a little mark, and I'm going to put glue and place it in position. Make sure this remain flat. Ready for the second opening, we place the measure again, and we'll do the same thing, glue it on with the opening we need. We do it one more time for the last opening, measurement, glue, and position. Now the correction is done. We could double check, make sure that the measurement we need is there from the center back all the way to the first line of the shoulder here. Perfect, same measurement that I have over here. I cannot say it's completely finished before I close the 3 little opening with a very, very soft line. Now I keep my plan like that. For today, I'm done with my plan. I'll come back with my next video. I will show you how to do all the pattern piece. We need 2 pattern piece for the collar and also the bodice, and we'll do the facing because the lapel also is 2 piece. It's double layered. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I see you soon.